This week, we give our recap and review of the highly anticipated summer 2025 blockbusters, Superman and Fantastic Four First Steps. Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse. Warning.
Red alert.
Ay, 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 ay!
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
That's the emergency alert. This episode is full of spoilers for some of the latest and greatest nerdy movies and shows.
Spoilers.
Listener discretion is advised. Hey everybody, it's Billy here, and I wanted to take a second to thank you all so much for the awesome votes that you guys have been sending my way for my wife and myself in this America's Favorite Couple competition. I wanted to get on here quickly and ask again for a few more rounds of voting. So we are in the top 5, and we're currently in first place, so we would like to keep it that way. It would be so awesome to win this competition, both financially, but also for the really cool article that would be put about us in Variety magazine. So if you don't mind, if you could keep going to americasfavecouple.org/2025/the-tailors-15. Again, that is americasfave-TAYLORS-15. That'll take you to the place to vote. You can vote once per day. I know once a week there's a day where every vote counts as 2 votes. But yeah, if you guys could keep up the voting, that would be amazing. Thank you so much for your help. Thank you again for these votes. We're still in first, so again, I don't know what to say other than thank you so much, and please keep voting. Now, for your regularly scheduled programming. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse podcast. I'm Billy Taylor.
And I'm Taylor Oxner.
And this week we are back, and we are so pumped and excited that at this point we've both seen Superman, we've both seen Fantastic Four First Steps, we got some cool wrestling news, and we're just so excited to talk about all of it. But before we jump into any of that, Taylor, what have you been nerding out about this week, man?
Nerding out about this week. I don't know if I've talked about this before. Have you ever watched the movie The Librarians? Any of the Librarian movies?
Yeah, my family loves those. Those are awesome.
I just watched the last of the original 3 movies. The Judas Goblet with the vampires and the girl from Castle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Probably the most hokey out of all 3. And like the whole vampire thing, I was like, oh, okay. I wonder, did it come out around like the vampire craze?
Oh, probably. And that's like around Twilight time. That seems right.
I was wondering that. I was like, when did this come out? I wonder if it was around the time of all those vampire stuff, like was crazy. Like, do you remember that for a while? It was like True Blood and Twilight and what was the other one?
Vampire Diaries, maybe?
Yeah, there's that one. And then like all that stuff came out and like everyone was trying to do vampires. It's like how everyone was trying to do zombies like a little bit after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of, I think it came out around the same time. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. If you guys like, it's very like light PG-13.
Uh-huh.
It's like PG plus basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like they're a lot of fun. I highly recommend them if you want to watch something that's basically just like eating sweets.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of depth to it, and it's pretty much good, clean fun. There's some innuendo here and there, but it's less than like a James Bond movie. So, it's also for some reason, I think if you're a Doctor Who fan, you'll like these. I don't know why when I was watching them the whole time, I was like, I feel like Doctor Who fans would like this show a lot, or these movies.
Yeah, it definitely has some of the early 2000s vibe of when the Doctor Who kind of got rebooted and brought back. It definitely has that same vibe.
Yeah, that, and then that show like The Magicians, like I feel like could all like,
Oh, yep.
you know what I mean? I feel like those shows for some reason could all like intersect and it would be okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's my nerding out for the week.
Yeah, those are fun. And then then after that third movie, I feel like maybe another movie came out, but maybe not. But they brought a series out.
The Librarians.
Uh-huh. And then just this year, it's about 6 or 7 episodes in, another new series called The Librarians: The Next Chapter has come out. And I think from the movies to that first series, there's a little bit of cast spillover with a little bit of different cast members. And then from that series to the new series that just came out, it's the same thing. It's not the whole same cast, but there's like one or two same castmates with new cast members. But
Okay.
I haven't watched any of the brand new series yet, but I have them all like recorded on YouTube TV or whatever. I'm excited to watch them.
Oh, right on. That'd be like a fun little date night.
Right? I know my kids, the way you said it's kind of like PG-13 light, so I know it'd be okay for my kids to watch. So I'm just kind of been waiting to get through stuff we're watching as a family right now and then make this probably the next thing we watch.
Right on.
Well, let's see. What am I nerding out about? I guess couple of weeks ago, you guys all know that my favorite video game of all time is Legend of Zelda. And a couple of weeks ago, my son started asking me a bunch of questions about Tears of the Kingdom, which is, I guess, the most current, 3D open world Zelda game. And it came out a few years ago at this point, and I beat it a long time ago. But anyway, Oliver was asking me all these questions, and for some reason, it's spiked my interest. And I started a whole new save file and been playing through that, and I'm just kind of burning through it. It's funny what, even though I haven't played it in a couple of years, like it's funny what
What
I
do you
remember.
retain?
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's certain games that I feel the same way about, and then there are certain games that every time I play it, I'm like, nope, gotta look it up.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm replaying Mass Effect with my friend Danielle because she's never played it before, and
Uh-huh.
it's fun because this is the first time I played that with a female as the lead.
Uh-huh.
So like it's a different experience, like the way they react to you is different, things like that, yada yada. But yeah, it's like there we got to a certain point and I was like, I know how to do it this way, but let's just cheat because otherwise I gotta look it up. And it was one of those things where it was like I remember how to cheat it so I don't have to do it. But if you do it, you get like what, like a couple extra experience points. So it was like one of those things where it was like, it's not worth it. I'm just gonna cheat this time around.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I get that. Water Temple and Ocarina, always have to look it up
Oh, that one is so
effing
frustrating.
every freaking time. Have to look it up to remember which switch does what.
Yep.
But at the same time, there are like certain ocarina songs that I remembered that I like once did it once, like I was good again. I knew how to do it. Like Song of Storms.
Yeah.
I think if you gave me a 64 controller right now and showed it to me once, I could repeat it
Yep.
instantly.
That's one I wish that they would remaster for the Switch. I know you can play it on the online version, but that'd be
Oh,
so cool to
it's
have a,
coming,
yeah.
right?
You would think they're sitting on a gold mine.
They know it. It's probably they're gonna release it on its like how many years, 50-year anniversary probably. They're
Something like that.
probably waiting for something like that. I'm guessing.
Well, hey, lots of cool stuff to nerd out about this week. And you guys, we are going to talk about Superman and Fantastic Four. So, obviously, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen these things yet and don't want to be spoiled, now's the time to push pause and come back and listen after you've seen those things. I know last week you heard me a little bit talk about Superman, but I'm so excited this week for us to talk about it together. But let's go ahead and just kind of jump in to Superman 2025, James Gunn's baby. What did you think about it? What was your first thoughts?
The first thing that I thought about is about how glad I was that I went and saw it by myself.
Yeah.
Because it's been like a kind of a crazy couple of weeks for me, so it's already a little emotional. And that movie kind of wrecked me a couple times, and
Yeah.
so I was like in my seat alone around no one, and I was just like, like I'm not talking it was like in-game bad where it was like the whole movie I'm just like a puddle, but there were a couple scenes where I was like, man, what is it about Superman that like is so just
It's heartwarming.
yeah, there's something truly like genuinely good about it that makes you very like I don't know the word, but this movie was more to me. I had really weird feelings about certain parts of this movie, to be honest with you. And then the other parts, I was like, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Um, I guess let's just go through the movie. I'm sure you have a rundown somewhere.
Oh yeah, in my mind it's kind of all there, but I guess it begins, with that whole dialogue on the screen saying that, 300 years ago, Earth got the first metahumans.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Loved that.
Yeah, 30 years ago, a baby crash landed, and then what?
Uh-huh.
3 weeks ago, Superman debuted to the world, and it was like what? 3 months ago, it just kept going. 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days, three
Yeah.
minutes, and finally you find
What?
out this whole battle with the Hammer of Baravia is the first time Superman has ever lost a battle, and then boom, he crashes down, and it starts just like the trailer. You see him whistle for the dog, and Krypto comes and
Yeah.
brings him to the fortress, but man, we've said this before, but that was just like I went and sat down in my living room, picked up a comic book, opened it, and boom, there's the story. You're in the middle of the story.
Yeah, it was very Act Two, just like we had talked about it being, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's my ADHD brain just moving and everything, hyper perception, things like that. But I kind of figured it out like as soon as I saw the big giant guy with the U on his chest.
Oh yeah. And if you didn't know it right away, I feel like I figured out who he was when he and Lex broke in the fortress. I'm like, oh okay, I get it now.
Yeah, so like when they broke into the fortress, I was like, okay, well he's a Superman. That's how they're getting in there.
Yep.
Because I had thought that too. I was like, how is he getting in through the DNA unless he stole some sort of DNA?
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where, well, he didn't have to steal the DNA really. And then later it turned out he was a clone. And I was like, when I saw the portal, so this is what I had thought was going to happen with that was I thought was he is teaming up with a Superman from another dimension. I mean, from another Earth. And that was going to be like Ultraman, like proper Ultraman, not a clone.
Yeah, and that, calling him Ultraman and everything, having Clark's face, like that 100% could have worked out.
Yeah, I don't understand the clone thing unless they're going to use him as like a Bizarro later.
And that was my thought, because towards the end of the movie, when he gets sucked into that black hole, he's not dead, he's just displaced. And
Yeah,
all those cube looking things going with him and everything.
uh-huh.
Yeah, that's my thought too.
Yeah, is my guess. To me personally, this is a problem that I have with a lot of like superhero movies on the Marvel and DC side, period, is they
Uh-huh.
have villains and they find them very disposable.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. Or they have characters and they find these characters really like, oh, this isn't like the whole Mandarin saga over at Marvel.
Yeah.
Like that. This isn't as bad, but like I want an Ultraman and I want a Bizarro. And James Gunn is the person who can do this for me, and it didn't happen. So like that, as much as I love this movie, I'm giving this movie an A+. Go see it. As a comic book reader, and if you want me to be critical, because I know you're not going to be as critical,
Uh-huh.
I will say that about this is once again, there's a villain problem. Now, to say the other end of that is that the Lex Luthor in this is amazing.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I've never wanted to hurt a Lex Luthor more
Yeah.
in any other of these movies. And that's saying something because what's his name? Who was the Batman Superman Lex Luthor?
Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse Eisenberg's honestly like someone who I find irritating
Uh-huh.
before he's playing someone. You know what I mean? Like the way he is irritates me.
Yeah.
Which that's part of his whole bit is that he's supposed to be kind of irritating and neurotic. Like that's like his whole like shtick or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But this was just he's such a hater. Like it was and that's me being like, hey, hip, but he's like hateful, like truly a hateful person. He reminds me of someone who he reminds me of a lot of people right now, actually.
Yeah.
But overall, it was just so ungrateful and so self-centered and
Narcissistic.
megalomaniac. Yeah, narcissistic for sure. But the thing is, and then he like admits that he is. And that's the thing that you're just really like, oh my God, I hate you.
The way he
um,
cried at the end when he knew it was just lost.
yeah. I was just like, I didn't feel bad for you at all. Like, and there was no part of this Lex Luthor that I felt any sort of like all other Luthors, I feel like have a little bit of humanity at least, or at least, I don't know.
Yeah. And then when Superman said that to him, like, I just wish you'd see that about yourself.
Yeah,
And he's like, shut up.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I
man,
like the whole fact that he doesn't buy into Superman in the least bit.
right?
He has no respect for Superman, which I love. Like I love the fact that there isn't even we've done this back and forth for a while, and so we have this mutual, whatever that Luthor and him have in the comics at this point, or even Luthor in the animated series,
Yeah.
where they have some sort of weird like respect for each other, even though Luthor hates Superman. I don't think Superman ever hates Luthor. I don't know. There are moments though that I've felt like Superman truly, if Superman doesn't like anyone, it's Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
And he's hyper paranoid about Lex Luthor, especially in like Smallville
Oh, yeah.
towards the end where it's like everything is Luthor.
Speaking of
Um,
Smallville, I thought it was a neat little nod in the movie that most of the time in the comics and most animated stuff and whatever, it's called LexCorp, but in this movie they called it LuthorCorp, just like the Smallville show. I thought that was kind of cool.
oh, I didn't catch that. That's cool.
Yeah, man, there was a lot of little things, all the little Easter eggs lying around, and
Yeah, there were the same thing with Fantastic Four. Once we get to that,
oh yeah,
that movie was just an Easter egg. I feel like that I watched last night.
yeah,
Superman felt like he was opening up to like a brand new universe, which was really cool.
yep,
Like every like third scene, you'd have like a TV station saying something about, and you'd be like, "Oh, I guess that's a thing." Or like the flags, both of them being mentioned, Rick and is it just
Junior and
what's
Senior.
Junior and Senior? Is that all it is?
I think so.
But they mentioned both of them, which is cool because Creature Commandos, one of them's in that one.
Yeah, in Creature Commandos it's Senior, and then
Yeah,
in Peacemaker, Peacemaker killed Junior. Well, I guess he killed him in the Suicide Squad movie.
yeah.
Yeah, all the stuff we've been talking about, thinking back to Ultraman again, I did think it was kind of maybe what's the word, a red herring. Like, oh, it's Ultraman, making people think possibly it's the parallel world version of Superman. But basically, they just took the name Ultraman, but did Nuclear Man from the Christopher Reeve movies.
Oh yeah.
If you think about it. Yeah, speaking of Christopher Reeve, I thought it was cool. The nod to him was they had his real life son, Will Reeve, who is a real life TV journalist, being the journalist on the news. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that is cool.
And yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I loved the Justice Gang characters. Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner.
Yeah, he was actually really good as Guy. Like surprisingly, like I knew he would be good. I just didn't think he'd be as good as he was. I liked his interactions with Metamorpho.
Oh yeah. I liked the battle, that final battle where, all seems lost and you were waiting for Superman, but how the heck could Superman be at two places at once? He's got to help with the rift in Metropolis, but those people in that war need him. And that little kid with the flag. I've seen this movie 3 times, and every time the kid's holding the flag and saying Superman, like, gosh, I'm getting choked up right now. It,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
no, yeah, that part got me too.
And then the village elders, even like the man with the long hair, when he starts screaming Superman with such despair but also hope in his words, that every single time, like literally right now thinking about it, it gets me. But just that visual of the kid with the flag, and then suddenly it's Guy Gardner puts a protective force field around him, and he's like, "Hey, sorry to disappoint, kid, but you got an upgrade," or something like that. It was so funny. And when he starts, making fists and like middle fingers to the
Yeah, the middle
tanks.
fingers to the tanks were my favorite part. I died. I just started cracking up. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's such Guy Gardner."
Yes, it
Like,
is.
like I forgot like how brazenly of just a jerk he is. And
Yeah.
I was just like, and I was like, and I loved him in like the Lantern books
Uh-huh.
where he's like just another lantern out there. He's
Yeah.
just such an a-hole compared to the rest of them. It's just so funny.
Do you
But like that character is just it works in a team ensemble like that because it's comic relief plus. He's an awesome character with full of heart. Like it
oh
when it
yeah.
comes down to it.
He always does the right thing, but he's a big jerk that always does the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Mr. Terrific, who stole the whole movie for me,
Oh
by
my
the way.
gosh. Me too. That fight scene when he's protecting Lois in that force field and then just knocking
Yeah,
out all those
so
guys.
yeah, why didn't they do that at the beginning? Like if those T spheres can do all those things, why? I
Yeah.
don't understand. Just was so confused by it. I was like, what? And then once they got into the place, like the spheres couldn't have like floated him around.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I was just like, okay, there must be rules to those things, but I just don't understand. Or maybe like when that fight, maybe that drained most of the power out of him. I just don't know. Like it was one of
Yeah.
those things where I was like, I don't really know how those T spheres work. And to be completely honest, I don't think I even know how they worked in the comics. I just knew that there were these orbs that kind of can do whatever he wants them to do.
Right? His circles.
Yeah,
They're not circles, they're spheres.
spheres. And that was funny. What other Hot Girl was cool.
Yeah.
And I mean very like one note though. But
Yeah.
other than that, I thought she was cool.
Yeah. But
I would
yeah.
have liked like another character though, like one or two others.
Yeah, and a lot of people were concerned that having all these characters would take away from this being a Superman movie, but I didn't feel like that at all.
No, I didn't either. I felt like it was mostly a Superman movie. I liked the part where him and Lois were talking in the room and you can see the Justice Gang fighting like an
Yeah.
interdimensional like donut basically behind them. I thought that was pretty funny.
And he called him an interdimensional imp, which makes me wonder if it was alluding to Mixus.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, man, this movie was so good. All the supporting cast, Jimmy and Perry and Kat and Steve Lombard. Oh, and Ron Troop was in that group. They were all,
Lois was good too. Yep.
yeah, perfect. And what else? Oh, the some of like Lexus people, like Eve, who was obviously alluding to Eve Tessmacher. That character was cracking me up. How much she really wanted Jimmy.
Uh-huh. What the character, the girl, not Ultraman, but the
Oh, the engineer. That was a kind of a cool character too. It's funny how obviously lots of these movies have some over the top things, but the thing that was kind of the most over the top to me was when the engineer did a front flip and then suddenly her head was where her feet were and all the nanobots moved around.
Oh yeah, the way they did that, I thought that was actually really cool.
Oh, it was super cool. But
It was one of those things that was super disorienting though, too. I was like, what? Oh,
yeah.
someone had fun doing that, I bet.
Yeah, speaking of Lex earlier and just how just angry and punchable he was in this movie, from that first scene when they walk in and start destroying all the superbots, man, I just really hated the guy from that moment.
Yeah.
I really liked the robots, especially number 4, or should we call him Gary?
Gary is also a name.
I love that they called
Um,
him Gary at the end. That's what Superman
yeah.
called him.
And his little punch in his head gave him character.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk is always good at those little parts.
He's the best. He
Yeah,
really, like, when it comes to like bit parts, he is the best. And the fact that he has such a good working relationship with James Gunn is gonna be, it's gonna make James Gunn so much money. Both of them.
oh
But
yeah.
because it's like, even though those robots are like not big characters, people will love those robots now. They're like, oh yeah, remember those robots? They were so cute and funny. It's like the stupid pirate in Dodgeball. Like it's like, or the robot in the droid, I mean, in Rogue One, or
Yep.
and you can go on and on and on. He's just really good at these weird bit part characters.
And they already have some really cool action figures of the robot, but I hope they make a pop of the robot.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they have like a Gary.
Yeah. And that's what I hope they put on its name, Gary.
Yeah.
Some of the other characters that I thought were cool, we already mentioned Eve, Tessmacher, but one of Lex's kind of minions, when he said his name later on, he called him Otis, and I thought that was kind of a
Oh
neat
yeah.
reference.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was like, oh yeah. When he said the name, I was like, oh, that's no. It took me a second because I'm not as familiar with the Superman side characters,
Uh-huh.
but it took me a second. And I was like, oh yeah.
And not only they called him Otis, but in the credits, he was credited as Otis Berg, which is funny because in the old movies, Lex's sidekick Otis, when the whole thing was about real estate and Lex was trying to get real estate from, destroying California or whatever, Otis wanted a tiny little place on the map and he like sharpied it in and called it Otis Berg.
Mm.
And that's what they named him in this movie, so I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, the whole thing. I love all kinds of these movies. You guys know I'm so positive, and even the worst ones, they just make me happy. But this one just over the top made me happy.
Yeah.
I did find one interesting thing that it was maybe my one criticism. I loved his parents. They were some of the best parts of the movie, but they're from Kansas, and the accent they gave the mom was a little interesting to me. Because I think, I grew up in southeast Missouri. That is some very southern area of this country. And she sounded a whole lot like people from southeast Missouri. But I've lived for 22 years in Kansas, and I don't know a lot of people that talk like that. Honestly, I can't think of a single one up here that talks like that. But that again, that did not take away from how I loved the movie or even how much I loved those characters, because I thought those two did great as Ma and Pa Kent. But that was my one critique. I'm like, oh, she didn't really sound like people from Kansas, but oh well.
Yeah.
It was an interesting twist with his biological parents wanting him to take over the planet and repopulate and all that. That was kind of an interesting twist. But I did
Yeah, I
love a
thought that
lot.
was too.
Yeah. But I did love a lot at the end when the robots are taking him to the chair to burst him with some of the solar radiation. And Gary says, let's play the clip of his parents. It soothes him.
Yeah, and it was the new stuff.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah, I
the
like that
Kents.
too.
That
Yeah.
definitely gave me a couple of tears.
Yeah, that one got me pretty good too, actually.
But yeah, man, for a movie I've seen 3 times, I kind of want to watch it again now.
Wow.
It was awesome, and I think we can both agree if you haven't seen it, you should. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Yeah, I'd recommend it for sure.
And then, just a couple of weeks later, we both got to see Fantastic Four First Steps, which, as the name says, the movie was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, this one wasn't as thrilling, I don't think, for me, or like as bombastic, I guess, as maybe is the word. It was more or less like this is a good Fantastic Four movie, and it's doesn't pull any punches. Like everything looks very Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Everything is done like Galactus is ginormous. What were your takes from it?
I definitely feel like it's my favorite of all the Fantastic Four movies, for sure.
Yeah,
It was very good at just paying tribute to the comics, I felt like. And so much of it seemed so comic accurate. And yeah, when this movie starts, it was kind of the same thing. They didn't spoon feed us the origins. We didn't need all that. They had a tiny 5 minute or less kind of like news like recap, just explaining how we got the Fantastic Four. And then boom, we're thrown right into a story. And I loved that about this.
yeah.
One of the first things I thought was cool is they show on the screen Earth 828. And a little Easter egg about that was Jack Kirby, who's a co-creator of the Fantastic Four, his birthday was August 28th. So that's why they named it Earth 828, just as an homage to him.
Yeah, which is amazing just because he basically, I mean, Stan Lee wrote a lot of Fantastic Four, but Fantastic Four was created by Jack Kirby
Oh, yeah.
in my eyes. We could talk about their powers. The Mr. Fantastic stretchy powers were really only in display like a few times in the movie.
Yeah.
They made them very secondary to how smart he was, which is very much comic accurate.
Yep.
The one scene where they really showed him, he was actually getting his butt kicked.
Yeah, when Galactus was stretching him apart.
Yeah, which is he didn't stretch him that far, and I felt like that wasn't. I don't know. So you want to know my biggest gripe about Galactus was
What's that?
his proportions were different the whole entire movie.
Yeah. He seemed bigger in some places than he did in other places, maybe.
Well, yeah, or like there were times when they were closer to him, and they seemed to take up more space on him than in other situations. But at the same time, it's like they don't ever, like in the comics, they explain it is the fact that he kind of can change shape and form and whatever. Also, the fact that everyone sees Galactus differently.
Yeah.
Did you know this?
I didn't know that.
Okay, so no matter where Galactus is, people perceive him differently.
Is that why we perceived him as a giant space cloud in the old movie?
Yeah, I mean that's an explanation, I guess. But yeah, they explain that in the comics where it's when other people see Galactus, they see whatever they need to see.
Gotcha.
That doesn't break their brain.
I did love how Ben Graham looked in this movie, The Thing. He looked awesome.
Oh, he looked amazing. He looked just like, to me, like the animated series version of the
Yeah.
Thing, with the really like rigid brow
Yep.
that stuck out instead of was formed to his head, which it usually is. I like that it stuck out.
Yep.
I didn't like the fact that we didn't get to see him just in underoos that many times.
Yeah.
like we always do. I felt that was weird. I was like, why are we clothing him like this, like every scene?
I don't know, but you're
You
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah, in the comics, he's definitely in his little Speedo a lot of the time.
A lot of the time, or at least he's in like a unitard thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like two
Yeah.
straps and
Yeah.
then like white boots.
Having said that, I really liked their uniforms in this movie.
Oh yeah. Besides, like there was one suit they were wearing that kind of looked like sweaters, which I didn't like love, but
Yeah.
like everything else I really liked.
I thought Johnny was cool, and I feel like
Yeah,
they
the
did.
fire effect was interesting on this.
Yeah. And I feel like this might be, well, I feel like this is the best version of Sue Storm that they've done.
Oh yeah, 100%.
She was awesome. I feel like she might have been my favorite character in terms of at least how their powers work and everything in this movie.
Yeah, her powers are so cool in this movie. I mean, her powers are always so cool, but like be able to see them visually is something else.
Yeah, they did them justice.
Yeah, they really showed like how powerful she is.
Yep.
Also, having the baby bring her back to life. What did you think about that?
You know, I totally saw it coming.
I did too, but I was like, oh, okay. And then her eyes like glowed,
Yeah.
glue. I was very like, oh, okay. So he's already that powerful. And which I'm wondering if he's gonna be, well, obviously is a big part of the next movies because then the after credit scene, spoilers.
Yeah. You know what the after credit scene made me think of? You know
What?
how some, not always, like I know one of Doctor Doom's biggest flaws is he's by all vanity means he's a good-looking guy, but he doesn't think that about himself. Like,
Yeah.
but there are some iterations where he's very scarred up and whatever. What if that was him getting the baby to make him look not scarred up? Or what if he doesn't look like Robert Downey Jr. to begin with, but he uses the baby to make him look like Robert Downey Jr. and then he reality hops or something?
Oh.
Yeah.
What if he doesn't look like Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah, and the baby who
I
can
never thought of that.
I know, we only see that clip is like what, 30 seconds and then boom, it's gone. That's one of the things that popped in my mind is like, what if
Well,
he's
what's
got some
crazy?
big plan, you know, and to reality
Yeah.
hop and yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Franklin, that is a powerful dude.
Well, obviously he's going to be the one to reshape the universe at the end, right?
Yeah, and kind of
Is that is that who they're going to use instead of a molecule man, I'm wondering?
that's my guess. The way they've just set all this up.
So do you think Franklin is going to be the one to create Battle World?
Or at least with Doom's influence, but
Okay.
his powers. I don't know.
So do you think we're even going to get a Beyonder?
I don't know. At this point, they haven't really introduced that, but maybe they will. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a big part of it.
We have a Galactus now.
That's true. Finally.
And he's not dead. They could do Galactus on Battle World.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bonkers. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do.
The way they took care of Galactus, he's still out there. He's just far, far away.
He's out there and pissed.
Oh, yeah. He
Pissed
mad.
and hungry.
Yeah,
He's hangry.
this story was good too. I like that, you know, they're in a world that seems like they're the only heroes in that world. And
Yeah, and they mentioned so many supervillains. I was like, holy crap. And then Mole Man too.
oh, he
I was
cracked me up.
I was kind of just bewildered by the amount of Easter eggs that were in this movie.
Yeah, if you remember a little while back, maybe a month ago, I mentioned the prequel novel to the Superman movie, which was really good. Well, comics, they made a prequel comic to the Fantastic Four First Steps. And in that first, you know, that montage opening scene that's about 5 or so minutes long, and they show the mole man making that building sink into the earth. The prequel comic is that whole story. What goes on there, how they save the day, how they make amends with the mole man and his people, and all that stuff. I read it a couple of weeks ago, so that was kind of a fun story to read. By the end of the book, it sets Mole Man up as not a bad guy, but as more of a leader of his own people. And I guess the government comes to a consensus and forgives him of all of that if he just kind of stays in the underworld or whatever.
Subterranea.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then eventually in the comics he battles it out with the other lords of Subterranea during the Subterranean War,
yeah.
which is actually a pretty fun read.
The older I get, I feel like stories that involve parents and a child, I really feel those stories more and more the older I get.
Mm-hmm.
So I, you know, it might be easy on the outside being like, give that freaking thing your baby to save the entire planet. But I don't know, I'm a dad now and I get their feelings of not instantly going, well, we got to do this.
Yeah.
This movie was also great, and I'm just
I'm
excited
a,
to see how the heck they're gonna fold it in. And if you remember at the end of Thunderbolts, we see their ship flying into the atmosphere. But that's just another thought. I keep thinking, your first thought is like, oh, it's they're flying into our reality somehow. But what if it's Doom on that ship? Like, what if it's not them on that ship?
yeah, I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
Or what if Doom is on that ship with them?
Oh yeah. Maybe he's not quite. I don't know. I wonder if he's not so nefarious yet in their world because they didn't really mention him at all. Other than the post-credit scene, we saw the empty Latveria chair at the United Nations. Like that. Other than that, there's not even like a mention of him.
Yeah, I wonder if there's no mention of him on purpose, like Reed doesn't like to talk about him or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think our next movie is going to be the Spider-Man movie.
Wow.
Yeah,
I feel like we haven't heard anything about that.
I know. We do have a couple of. We get that the Wonder Man series.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe something else. I know we get that Eyes of Wakanda animated series, which is in canon, but I don't think the we get another movie until Spider-Man late next year.
That is crazy to me.
I know. But yeah, I feel like this was another great installment to the MCU, and I wondered if it would feel a little jarring not being part of the main MCU, the 616 reality, but it didn't. It was awesome. I liked that it was its own thing, and it's just making me look forward even more and more to just seeing how they incorporate those guys with everyone else.
Yeah, I kind of was weirded out by the fact that we didn't really have any of that.
Yeah, I thought for sure the post-credit scene would connect stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It all connect real fast here because, I mean, if there's only one movie left till Doomsday.
Yeah, I'll bet the Spider-Man movie is going to be where we get our first glimpse of Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, because you know how that's going to affect Peter.
Yeah, I bet it's post credits.
Yep. But yeah, movies were great. I'm already having that mournful stage of knowing these two movies I've looked forward to for so dang long are now gone.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of crazy that they were so close together, too.
I know. But hey, before we wrap things up today, tell us a little bit about what's going on in the wrestling world.
Oh, yeah. So this weekend, guys, it is the first ever in the history of wrestling a 2-day SummerSlam. So
Ooh,
it's basically like if you're watching wrestling like you'd watch a normal show, I think I would consider this like the mid-season finale.
okay.
Okay. So if WrestleMania is the season finale, that's the Super Bowl. This is the mid-season finale. This is where a lot of things will come to a head. A lot of the storylines will start or progress a lot further during this 2-day event, which this is going to sound like a fever dream when I say it out loud. Hosted by Cardi B this year in New Jersey. So that's going to be insane. A wrestling event hosted by Cardi B. And I have the two cards. So for Saturday, the champion Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez will go against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair as a tag team. Champion Gunther versus CM Punk, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul as a tag team. That's going to be a fever dream of a match as well. But I guess like Jelly Roll's been taking it super seriously. He like moved down to Florida for
Oh,
like the
dang.
last like 6 months to train and everything.
And I don't know how much you
Um,
follow him, but he's lost a ton of weight in real life, man.
Oh, I know. I mean, he's been on the last 3 or 4 episodes of Raw and SmackDown doing like the promo, like up to this. Just every time I say it out loud, Jelly Roll's gonna fight Logan Paul at SummerSlam, hosted by Cardi B. I just start laughing. I can't even get through it. Also that night, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. That's probably going to be the craziest match of the night,
Uh-huh.
in my opinion. That match or the Gunter CM Punk match. I want my boy CM Punk to win, but I don't see it going that way.
Yeah.
The next match is Tiffany Stratton, Tiffy Time champion, versus Jade Cargill. I hope Jade wins this, but I would be okay if it still stays Tiffy Time. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross is the last match for that night. That is going to be crazy, mind-bending, and just really, really good technical wrestling. Sunday, which there's another match that's not on here that they said. I don't know why it's not on here yet, but it's like a 4-way tag team match. It looks insane. So it's like four tag teams all going at it at once, basically. So it's like what is that? Four times two, eight people. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Sunday is Dominic Mysterio champion versus AJ Styles, which that's going to be really fun. I can't wait to see Dominic get his butt kicked. John Cena champion versus Cody Rhodes. That's like the big match. And it's a street fight. That's what the rules are. So it'll be a little bit more physical. Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. I see a bunch of shenanigans going down on that match. I doubt Solo Sikoa loses his championship. The next one's Becky Lynch, champion versus Lyra Valkyria. I think Becky will lose it to Lyra in that one. Naomi versus Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley is the final on Sunday night women's. I don't know. I don't know who's going to win that one. That one's tricky. We'll see. They'll probably keep Naomi with it because she just got it and she's really doing really good with her like heel run right now. But that's it.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of good stuff in store if you're a wrestling fan.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Well, guys, that's about it for this week. Hopefully, you've all had a chance to see Superman and Fantastic Four at this point, and if you haven't, man, now's as good a time as any. And man, Superman, it's been out a few weeks now, and it's about to cross the $500 million mark, and that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, and if you want to go, I'm sure Billy will go again with you.
Yeah, hit me up. Let's go see it. I want to real bad. But hey, as for us here at the Taylorverse, I've been Billy Taylor.
And I'm Taylor Oxner.
And come back next week, guys. Same Taylor time, same Taylor channel.
Bye.
Bye.